So write this down. Christmas is coming. Write it down. Don't laugh. Write it down. I got to get this point across. Had this conversation last night with some people. We have a gap. We have trouble closing this gap when we have a lot of time, and we kind of think we have a lot of time. When it's January, it's February, it's the first week or two of March. The first quarter's not even over with, and that means that there's still 3 quarters before the end of the year. So we started our goals, we had our dream boards, we set things up, we wanted to hit this many transactions, I want to make this much money, I want to be able to have this much in the bank, I want to have enough money to buy this kind of a property, etc. through the year. But what happens is that human nature is such that it causes us to think that we have time. If I don't do it today, I still have what? Tomorrow. And I'll get it done tomorrow. I have the best of intentions to get it done tomorrow. And yet, when tomorrow comes, sometimes we haven't hit our goals. We haven't achieved the things that we want to achieve. I've got to get this through your head. Your activities today, the things you do and you don't do today, the doors you knock on today, the clients you talk to today, are the business you will have tomorrow. If you project out 90 to 120 days, you do activities today, and you do them with intensity, with focus, with consistency, you will have business 90 to 120 days from now. What's the converse to that? If you don't do what you're supposed to do today, you're not going to have the business tomorrow. Very simple, yet important point. So I wrote down here, March is upon us. All of us can see businesses picking up, right? Say yes. Yes. Activities out there a little bit. The newspapers again this weekend had a lot of positive information about the marketplace. I happened to be at an event this weekend on Friday and on Sunday. I was with some real captains of industry, and to a person, they all said the same thing. The market's heating up. Things are starting to happen. Deals are starting to be done. Lenders are making loans a little bit easier. Money's flowing a little bit easier. Deals are getting done. Most importantly, people's attitudes are turning to the positive. And when we have that positive momentum of the attitude, those transactions are going to be done. So business is picking up, homes are selling, multiple offers on transactions are out there, right? Say yes. Yeah. We're finding those. That's happening. We're on track right now. You, and you, and you, and you, to make March the best sales month that we've had in 6 or 8 years. Right now, we already have 80 properties pending, and that was as of the 10th, so that was actually as of Friday. 80 properties. If you take that and project that out, 8 times 3 is how much? 240 transactions. Best month we've had in a long time is 160. 160 is great. But we're on track for 240. That's a deal from you, a deal from you. And that's not... Let me share another thought here. I don't know if you guys realize this or not. But less than 5% of our closed business, less than 5% of our closed business are REO listings sold. That's not our business. You're out doing standard sales, you're out doing short sales, you're out doing probates, you're out doing deals with past client and sphere. You're not doing deals in bulk with banks. One deal at a time. One closing at a time. One great transaction. But 240 of them possible for this month. In order to continue to make this March, the March madness that we've talked about before, the best month, we've got to work on our attitudes. We've got to continue to work on our skills. We've got to continue to work on our mindset, keeping it in the right place. And we have to work like we've never worked before. The realtor prayer. Dear Lord, please give me one more great market. I promise not to screw this one up. You know what I'm talking about. You know. Here's the opportunity. It's coming. It's happening right now, right in front of us. This is 40 years of experience I've had in the top markets and in the low markets. I've been doing this since 1971. I was thinking about this the other day. I've been doing this almost as long. I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but I was 19 years old when I got married. When I got married, the law was that a 19-year-old man had to get their parents' signature in order to get married. That's how long I've been doing this. Now think about that. Oh, we're talking ancient history here. You've got an amazing opportunity in front of you. What activities do we need to do to ensure finishing a great March and taking advantage of a changing market? So I'm going to briefly go through these activities. I want you to write them down. I want you to make commitments to them. Remember, it's consistent effort consistently, not occasional effort, giant effort occasionally. Write this down. Line out your activity goals. How many days will I work for the rest of March? How many days will I actually work, show up and do my job? How many hours in those days will I prospect? How many hours will I consistently prospect and commit to? How many expireds am I going to go see at the door? Physically at the door. How many am I going to go see? How many contacts am I going to make through the balance of March? How many homes am I going to preview? How many homes am I going to look at, preview, take advantage of? How many doors am I going to knock? How many hours am I going to role play? How many hours will I write out my scripts? How much of my prospecting will I record and have my coach review? And how many times will I record my listing presentation, put it up on YouTube, and ask Neil to review it for me? How many times in the rest of this month are you going to do that? So I want you to draw a line in the paper. That's the questions you have to answer before you leave here this morning. Just take a minute, answer those questions. But before we do, I want to ask you a question. Are you working at the right sales intensity to take advantage of this marketplace? Or are you just kind of and mailing it in? Or are you just kind of showing up? So I kind of took it and wanted to break down what I think are 3 levels of sales intensity, 3 different intense levels. So let's just walk through this and kind of decide where you fit and maybe kind of grade yourself. So I wrote down the first one are sales superstars. Sales superstars. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super intense, absolutely focused, making it happen all the time, the sales superstar is an 8 to 10 out of 10, out of 1 through 10. They're in the 8 to 10 range. People in this group are focused and they are up for it. They know what they want. Words that describe these people are like motivated, focused, tenacious, persistent. Sales intense superstars are very charismatic. I wrote down here, these people are successful and they have great attitudes. Salespeople in this group are confident, self-assured because they know what they're doing and what it takes to succeed. They do not fear market changes or economic crises. When you are an intense sales person, when you do your job, but you do it with intensity, you don't care what's going on in the marketplace. The market's going up or the market's going down, doesn't matter to you because you know what you're doing and how to do it. I wrote down here, sales superstars are often found in the office early in the morning and late in the evening. Are you? They're not clock watchers. They're not coffee breakers. They don't take long lunches, and they are not excuse makers. The main danger for this group is losing focus and intensity due to excessive workloads, distractions, or the worst villain of them all, complacency. See, some of you are making a little bit of extra money and you're backing off of the pedal a little bit. You're going, I got enough to make the payments for the next 2 months on my house. I can lighten up. I've been scrambling like crazy to get to this point. Now I'm here, and I'm going to back off the pedal a little bit. Let me ask you guys a question in terms of momentum. When you're on a bicycle, and you get started on a bicycle, is it difficult to get the bicycle going usually? Not like a beach cruiser kind of bicycle, right? Okay? It's kind of when you can start pedaling it, gets a little difficult to get it going. But once you get it up to speed, it kind of continues to go, right? Say yes. Yes. Pay attention here, okay? Let's have an interaction, all right? Let's pretend we're having fun. So we're in a beach cruiser, and we get it up to speed, and we're kind of cruising. But it did take us a little extra effort. Now, what happens when you stop at a light? You wait for the light to change, and now you're on a little bit of an incline, and you have to get the bike going again. Is it easy or difficult? It's a little more difficult, right? So you got to get that momentum going. You got to put a little bit more effort into it. So every time you get started, once you get started, you start to get a little momentum, and complacency kind of goes into it, and you start backing off of your pedaling, so to speak. You start to slow down or stop, worse, stop. And then when you start again, because you've got openings, you've got closings, you have new listings, all that business is starting to come in, you're getting ready to close it, all that great stuff's happening, then all of a sudden you get up here, you get 2 or 3 closings, it feels pretty good, you got a couple extra dollars in the bank, you stop doing the activities that got you there, you slow down, money stops coming in, no more pendings, no more listings, and then you get scared, you go, whoa, I got to do this again. You start to get pedal with the bike. It's difficult to get the bike going. Does this make sense? This is what's going on in your business. That's the metaphor that's exactly going on in your business. It's a start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And you don't have that momentum. That's what complacency can do to you. So that's the sales superstar. The group 2, write down, these are the maybe baby. Maybe baby. This is the maybe baby. Their rating is between 5 and 8 on a scale from 1 to 10. Intense-wise, they're about a 5 to 8. The salespeople in this group, they're okay. They know what they want, and they usually are able to get it sometimes. They usually get reasonable results, and they can be focused at times. Unfortunately, they can also be a bit half-hearted. This is where this back and forth starts to go in terms of intensity. This maybe baby group has a tendency of going through the motions. Kiss of death is going through the motions. Going through the motions will dampen your sales atmosphere, and the most important thing is going through the motions in sales will turn your clients off when you're going through the motions. You're on the phone, you're making the calls. You're on the phone, you're making the calls. You're knocking on the door, you're using the script, you're using the dialogue, but you're not intense, you're not focused, you're not being consistent, you're not trying to make the sale, you're making the contact. You know what I'm talking about? I wrote down here, sales is a contest. Write that down. Selling is a contest. By the way, selling is legal. It truly is legal. You can do this and not get in trouble for selling. It's a good thing. I wrote down sales is a contest. Selling is an activity at which you must win at. Get that through your head. When you sell, you need to win. There needs to be a win. It's okay to be a win, 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 win. That's all right. But you got to win. I wrote down you either impress your prospect or you don't. You either impress your prospect or you don't. You either make the sale or you don't. You either negotiate the deal you wanted or you don't. The money is either in your bank account or it's not. There are no prizes for second place in selling, in one-on-one selling. You go out, get the list. You go out to get the listing. You get the listing, you win. You don't get the listing, do you get a prize? You get a prize if you don't get the listing. You made a great presentation, but do you get the prize if you don't get the listing? Yes or no?
No.
No. When you go out and show property, you go out and bring the client to the house they really should buy, but you don't know what to say and how to say it because you really don't know the community, you don't know what's going on, you don't know the previewing of the property, you haven't done your homework, and the client decides not to buy. It's the best house for them, but they decide because they don't have all the information not to buy, or worse yet, not to buy from you. Horrible. There are no prizes for second place. Commission does not come to the sales agent who nearly got the listing or the sale. The winner will not be someone who is going through the motions. The winner, the person who gets the listing, the person who makes the sale, the person who gets the appointments. One, you can set it, but did you go on it? And if you go on it, did you make a great presentation? If you made a great presentation, did you close it? And then, did you do all the activities that you needed to make sure that you ensure that you get that listing into escrow and get it closed? Sales intensity. What's yours? Maybe babies need fire. The maybe people don't quite have all the fire they need. You need to turn it up. They need to dig down and work out why it's really important to them, why this sale is important to them. They need to plan their days and focus on activities to get the results that they crave. They need to avoid distractions and start hanging around sales superstars. They certainly, remember I told you this before, if you are the smartest, richest person you're hanging out with, you need to change friends. You need to change friends, and you need to change friends now. If you are the smartest, richest person you hang out with on a regular basis, change friends. Because you'll never get ahead. You'll never get ahead. I wrote down group 3. Mediocre wannabes. Sales intensity, mediocre wannabes. I kind of write down here, average real estate agent. Salespeople in this group are painfully unfocused. Painfully unfocused. They lack commitment, they lack direction, they lack discipline, and they rarely hit their targets. Rarely hit their targets. They have one good moment, they get one listing appointment, they feel great about it, take the rest of the day off. When they do take action, it's usually not done in the right way, or worse, it's done their way. So we have this plan. It's a 5-5-10. It works. When you follow the plan, it works at a really, really high level. And yet, trying to get some of you to do this on a regular basis is truly like pulling teeth. It's hard. I don't understand it. We know Christmas is coming. We started there. We started with Christmas is coming. You need to make money. You need to have funds for your family. You want to have great things for your family. If you don't celebrate Christmas and you celebrate something else, plug that in too. If the metaphor is the 25th of December is going to be here. What are you going to do about it? Remember what I said earlier. The activities you do today will be the reasons you make money tomorrow. Project it out, 90 or 120 days. I wrote down here, when these agents take action, it's not done the right way, or with the right attitude, or worse, with the belief that they can get the desired result. Average agents, I wrote down, talk a good game, but they're also very bored. Repetitious boredom in prospecting is a disease. They often find it's too easy and not stimulating. They say when they say this, and then they start pushing papers around the desk, picking up the phone, finding a reason not to prospect, setting an appointment to go to lunch with another agent, surfing the internet. I don't know. Thousands of things that come up. These agents have to turn up the heat right now. the opportunities out there. It's very, very frustrating for agents at this level who do some of the things some of the time, and they know it's right there. In fact, they actually sometimes sit next to these people at events. They sit next to some of these people or talk to them having lunch. They enjoy time with them, and yet they don't do the activities. They'll sit and they'll watch the agent go in and out of the office, some of the superstars. You say, God, what do they do different that I'm not doing? Well, one of the differences is that you're still sitting here and they're outside door knocking. It's one of the differences. Or they're working on their scripts and dialogues and you haven't. I wrote down here, today matters. You have to decide which group now, first of all, you fit in. Do you fit in the sales superstar? Do you fit in the mediocre group? Do you fit in the maybe group? Where do you fit? That's number one. Number two, you can move groups. You can move groups up, but you can also move groups down. If you're not doing what you need to be doing, you need to search your souls today. Search inside of you today. Look inside of you. Why are you doing this? Why is this important? This is not a difficult business. Yet it is hard to stay focused. It is hard to be consistent. I get that. Yet when you do the activities, you can make the money, you can make it happen. The market is changing. You've been waiting for this. We've been waiting since 2005, 2006 for the market to change, to shift its position just a little bit. You're here. You have great skills. Some of you have fabulous skills. We just need to turn the intensity up when you're focused, when you're working. If you don't like where you are, if you don't like the level of intensity you're at, if you don't like the income you're making, you can change it, and it can start today, right now, this moment. It's your choice. You can either continue and have an amazing March sales madness month, or I wrote down here, you can just be mad at March. You can have March madness and have lots of sales, or you can just be mad it's March and I can't believe it and I need to be beyond this. And I just am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Today, right now, can change. Put one foot in front of the other. Now let's go out and make this your best week ever. Thank you.